For guests and visitors, my name is Teresa Russell. It says in here Jim Farmer. I didn't change that. Club president, and I'd like to welcome you all to the 16th meeting of the 49th year of the Dublin Worthington Rotary Club. And our pledge and invocation will be offered by a substitution fill-in, Jerry Gatz. Yeah.
Please pray with me to the Creator of all there is and all there ever will be. Here we are again, thanking you for all that you have laid before us. But today, we're in trouble here on earth. We need your help and your guidance. There are atrocities that shape our very soul. There is greed and grief beyond what we can comprehend. So today, we ask that you be with those around your earth suffering, but especially your children in Ukraine and Israel. Keep them in your hands. Give them faith and strength and hope and freedom from pain. Give their leaders wisdom and understanding. And we pray for leaders around the world to seek peace, not war. These things and those prayers from the hearts gathered here, we all say, Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we have a number of guests here today we'd like to introduce. First, Bill Best and Jeremy Adams, both of whom claim to have some relationship with Jennifer Best.
They're both consulting engineers and very interested in today's topic, so.
Glad to have you. Also today, our prospective new member, Linda Frederico, is it? Lisa. Glad to have you. And our assistant district governor, if I got the title right, Dave Dewey is here today. And our speaker will be introduced later.
Any announcements? Make your way, please. Number one, Emily. Okay.
Well, just a quick announcement, the youth services are going to be meeting briefly after today's meeting. So anybody who is interested in joining us is welcome to.
Thank you.
Okay, we're in the final month of the bourbon raffle. We have officially turned the Facebook ads back on, and I've already seen a couple sales come in today, so we need to make a big push for the end of the month and finish strong. I think we're about $9,500, so we've got a little ways to go, so please take some flyers in the back by the raffle and tell everybody you see. Well, let's make this a success. Thanks.
Well, today is November 1st, the first official day of selling poinsettias. So get your pencils and your scorecards ready and fill up those orders. If you look on your emails, there's a long email from Jim Miller telling you all the whys and wherefores of selling poinsettias. So take time to do that because you can keep track of your sales on the email. As you know, our goal is to sell 650 plants. They're $14 for individual plants, or $120 will buy you a box of 10. So, we're looking for your orders. So keep on the good job. We've done our duty every year, so let's keep it up so we can continue to give scholarships to the students of Dublin and Worthington.
Um, 2 weeks ago, Angie Adrian, the Assistant Superintendent of Worthington Schools, was here and talked to us about the portrait of a learner. And she sent a beautiful thank you note about how much she enjoyed being here and enjoyed this club's input and got a lot out of it. She made a list of the top things this club thinks high school graduates should have. And her top items were critical thinking, integrity, ethics, honesty, well-rounded and prepared, team-oriented, public speaking, and lifelong learning. And those are very similar to what she's seen at our large community meetings. So just wanted to thank you. I'm gonna give these to Steve and see if we can put them in the newsletter next week so everyone can see the list. But thanks to all who participated with her.
Hey, Dawn.
Yeah.
An announcement about October. Do you want to talk?
This is it.
This is it.
Yeah. Okay, this is it. So October is supposed to run till the end of October, because the district actually lets you report a little bit later than that. So this is the last meeting at which we'll be accepting donations. And a couple of you have ordered socks before the deadline. Let me know about it. So if you did, I'll be, won't be trying to report it for a couple of days. So we'll have time for those to get in, get collected, get distributed. If you have socks you want to donate after today, please email me immediately so I can arrange to include in our total to pick them up. Got one response already, so. And remember the one of the results of this contest, one of the incentives is that the club that donates the most socks per member is rewarded with a pair of Rotary themed socks that will give us bragging rights at all district or other Rotary events in the future. So please consider participating. You have our thank you.
How many socks are worth?
Okay. Any more announcements before Jerry? Okay. Here.
I just want to apologize for being gone for the district governor's meeting. I was in France for 3 weeks. So it was a great opportunity. And by the way, I was at the Arlington game the other day, and I think I saw the stallion guy on the sidewalk in the Arlington. So I apologize for that. I want to just say you guys are doing a great job. I know Steve is going to come to the awards meeting for the district on Saturday, and I think you're going to be awarded the citation club. So you're doing a great thing for Rotary. Thank you for this October, and continue to focus on the 125 as we come into the foundation month. Doing a great thing for Rotary all over. So thanks for what you do.
Thank you.
Before I'm the sergeant, I'm gonna auction off football tickets. And so, I hope all of you realize that this ticket is actually one of the best, if not the best, in the entire stadium. Because it's not only in the Block O, or the section for past players and so forth. But it's right next to Cindy Winks. It's on the aisle.
Great seat.
It's and George says it's a great seat. I'm not sure he heard anything because the game was so noisy, but he saw everything. And so that's what we're doing today. Now we have 2 tickets to auction off. And you can't buy them both. You can only buy one. And so the first game that'll be coming up, of course, is Michigan State. Now, Michigan State, some say they don't have a very good team. Don't talk to them. You never know what's gonna happen. I remember the year, and many of you do, where Michigan State took us right out of the game. So that's something you just don't know. So the first game is Michigan State. It's a night game. You'll just love it. And Cindy has a parking pass, so you can make arrangements with her. And she'll meet you, and you won't have to worry about parking or anything like that. The second game, of course, is with Minnesota. And again, don't be looking forward to any Michigan game. Just play them one game at a time. That game, I think, is a noon game. Not positive of that, but you'll figure it out when the time comes. All right, so for the Michigan State game, ticket inside the stadium, next to Cindy Wentz, row 15. That's an important jersey number.
20-yard line.
20-yard line, no, that's a $20 bid. Okay, now what else do I get? Come on, a little more money than that. And besides that, Alan doesn't want the ticket. So, who wants to go to the game?
Go, Andrew.
George says that he'll bid 100. That's nowhere near the value of this, and he knows the value because he's been there. All right? Nobody wants to go. Nobody wants to see the upset.
Even Michigan State.
Well, I'm telling you, you can boo all you want, but you'll be crying in your beer. Well, you're crying in something. If I'm right. No other bids? What are you saying, George?
I can't bid again.
Yeah, well, believe me, it's happened. Minnesota. Who wants to go to Minnesota? Well, that's fine. I'll just tell Cindy that she can pick her own partner and go that direction. Okay, I'm the sergeant, but maybe we want to make a presentation first.
Sure.
I just want to warn you, you didn't bid any money for the foundation. I'm the sergeant.
By the way, Jerry, I will put in $5 when you're ready to collect, because today is the first day I'm eligible for Medicare, so I'm on the government list. Talking about another program, I want to talk a little about Polio Plus today. First of all, I know Alan mentioned last week, Alan did a great job, raising money for Polio Plus. I know he had the pizza fundraiser, and I believe they raised about $500. So that was great. I just also wanted to let you know the club so far this year has contributed $1,500 to Polio Plus independent of that. So with that raising, it looks like we're up to about $2,000, which at this point is really great. Additionally, just so you know, for the International Foundation, we're up to $5,500 for the year. So we're really off to a fabulous start. Give yourself a hand. That's where you're the ones that are doing this. But I did want to talk a bit about Polio Plus and polio eradication. You're giving this money, but I think sometimes what gets lost in the message is where the money is going and what is really going on with it. Sure, this goes back now, 35 years, Rotary and the World Health Organization, among other organizations, and of course, the Gates Foundation. What they've done to raise money, and that, you know, more than 99% of all cases of polio have been eradicated. But there are still places that polio exists, endemic in both Pakistan and Afghanistan, even though they're close to being done. But this is a continuing battle. The reason that I say that is that there are other places that if children are not getting vaccinated across the board and there are breaks in immunity, then polio can reemerge. And also, one of the challenges that they had, I'm not going to go into the technical details, but the vaccine that they were using, the oral vaccine, which is very effective, unfortunately, in places that immunity is questionable and there are still issues, and this is mostly in countries like some countries in Africa, and of course also in Afghanistan, Pakistan, for example, Nigeria is another example, that the vaccine can cause rare problems. But of course, if the word gets out, that can be a real problem, because then people are afraid to use the vaccine. So this has really been more than a 10-year project. And in 2021, it was an experimental vaccine. It really is no longer experimental. Let me give you the technical name, I believe, is NOV. I'm trying to remember exactly what it's called here. Find it here. So I don't want to take up too much time. I believe it's NOVP2, if I had it correctly. But they've had tremendous success so far with that. They have not had, even in places where immunity is questionable, they really have not had any poor outcomes. So it's really done a great job. So, you know, I could go into more detail about this, but I know that we have other things to talk about today. But I wanted to give you an idea of, you know, where Polio Plus is doing great things. Hopefully, both we'll be able to state, maybe even by next year, that there is literally no country that all countries are basically considered polio free. Now, that doesn't mean that will be done, but certainly what an incredible accomplishment that'll be. So I just wanted to give you guys an idea of where the money that you're giving to Polio Plus is going. I should mention that there's a thing called Polio Society, Polio Plus Society, that if you give $100 in a given year, you'll be eligible for a pin. So in addition to the pin that you get for the 125 pin that you get for $100 to the foundation, International Foundation, and $25 to Polio Plus, there's also an additional incentive if you're interested. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And now our Sergeant Jerry.
Okay, Dave Dewey, you're gonna carry the pot because we expect a lot of service from the district. And since you vacated the premises, now you get to work. I won't ask you to put any money in it because if you travel to France, you probably won't have any left.
Start right off the top.
So now we're looking for happy dollar. We've got a happy dollar today because it's 1/1/1/1/23. And I should announce before I get the happy dollars. One, happy dollars don't count to your limit. Two, I am lifting the limit today, and you'll see why in a little bit. I'm lifting the limit today. It's unlimited today as to how much you have to put in. So it's a four-way test day. And so now for the happy dollars. Yeah.
Put it on. Yesterday was my third anniversary with my lovely wife, so we're that. And also last Friday, she got her bar results in.
Well, I'm happy to report that due to John Bader's presentation, this past weekend we had guests from Chicago who are birders, and so we took them up to the Deer Haven Park that John talked about, and it's really a wonderful exhibit there, and so I'm happy for that. I need some change. You probably won't need it. Rach.
We have less than a week to go before voting, so everyone, thank you for voting early and looking forward to having everyone be a voter by November 7th.
Is your name still on the ballot?
Yeah. My happy dollar is, I have an aunt who turned 99 today.
Whoa.
My oldest living relative, she's my dad's older sister.
There we go.
Yes, the only Tom Wright.
We went last week to North Carolina to Davidson College and visited our son for Parents Weekend.
Well, there. That's good too. Oh, there it is. There's Jennifer. Way in the back. Speak up now.
Okay, two things. I am happy that I got to go to Philadelphia over the weekend for my daughter-in-law's baby shower, so that was very, very fun. And also, I know I introduced my husband and his work associate at the beginning of the meeting. I also have my friend Eric Farley that has come, retired scientist from Chemical Abstract and running for Worthington School Board. So I wanted to introduce him.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Any other happy dog? Oh, yeah, there's Tim.
I'm happy that I'm gonna be with RI President Gordon McAnally next week in Mongolia with our sister club and representing the district and finally getting going on that global grant.
Awesome. There we go.
Any other happy dollars? All right, I'm finding Charlie because I should find John, but I can't. I'm gonna find Charlie because nobody wants to sit next to a guy like you in shorts. So that's $1.
I'm sitting there.
Jerry, you need $1.
We generally don't find the president, but I'm going to. Because you cannot argue, I've told you guys this before, do not argue with the sergeant. All right, now today,
Gonna need change?
change. Change is what this club's all about. All right. Today, I know, boy, what a nice turnout, by the way. You really ought to give yourself that hand. But this is part of the greatest turnout, and that's one of the reasons I raised the limit. Because we're gonna be spending money on the social fund here pretty soon, and so I need to increase that. So, okay, today we're doing a little bit different. We're having a quiz, and the quiz generally will be 2 parts. And the second part is double or nothing. So I get to name the table. And in the short run, you get to pick the subject. So I'm picking this first table right up front, and you can either pick from sport or music or film or government. You don't want it. Or births and deaths or marriage. Oh, no, that's all one group. Or housing. So what do you want? Be quick or I'm gonna be.
them again?
Film, okay, film. There was a film that debuted on 1/1/1997. And the film was directed by James Cameron. Name the film.
Titanic.
Okay, you got that part right. The second part to this, it's not double or nothing, of course, but the second part is, tell me where it premiered.
Come on. Planet Earth.
Not responsive and not New York. You'd be a long ways from New York. It premiered actually at the Tokyo International Film Festival. Isn't that an eye opener? Put in your dollar for that, except it's double or nothing if you want to keep all of your dollar. Do you want to go for it or no?
We don't have the time, Jerry. We don't have.
Don't have the time. All right, the next table gets to pick, and they're picking music. And on this day, 1/1/1969, there was an album that hit the stores, and it eventually rose to #1. Who was the artist? The Beatles were the artists. That's exactly right. And what was the name of the album?
The name of the album?
Yeah.
Abbey Road.
Anybody who talks out of turn is putting in double. So whoever that was, $2 right now. You got all that right. Now for the final question. It hit #1. How long was it there? 11 weeks. Well, we missed. Put in your dollars. All right, the next table back there is picking sport because I don't want that to get around over here to Ken Carey.
Can we just pay now and be done?
Yeah. All right, you're all upset. Everybody put in $3. While I tell you one thing that I found out, and that is, actually on this day, in 1954, John Wayne, on this day, divorced his wife. Sad. On this same day, he married another lady. So I thought that was kind of strange. He was married to his first wife for 8 years and then turned around and married somebody else on the same day that his divorce was final. You can't let me go without.
So Jerry, I have a question.
Sure, what's your answer?
So did John Wayne have to move out of one house and move into another, or was all the movement on the other side of the distaff side, so to speak?
Pay $1. You're trying to embarrass the sergeant, man. I'm not gonna let that happen. I have gained a lot of weight lately. I'm sure that most of you have noticed that. So I thought I would go on an all almond diet. It's just nuts.
All right. I'm gonna have a speaker next.